Today, we're digging deep into the stuff that literally builds our world. We're talking about India's mineral and energy resources, the very foundation of our economy, from the massive steel structures in our cities to the tiny, powerful components inside our phones. Let's get right into it.
You know, it's kind of funny how easy it is to forget, but minerals are just everywhere. Seriously. Think about the toothpaste you used this morning. That's got minerals like silica and limestone in it. And the phone or tablet you're watching this on right now? Oh yeah, it's packed with copper, gold, and a whole bunch of other metals that all started out as minerals. They're the invisible building blocks of our daily lives.
So what exactly are we talking about when we say mineral? Well, geologists have a pretty specific definition. It's a homogeneous, naturally occurring substance that has a definable internal structure. Basically, from the softest talc you can imagine to the hardest diamond, these are the fundamental ingredients that make up the rocks of the Earth's crust.
All right, here's the game plan for today. First, we'll see just how minerals are in everything we touch. Then we'll dive into India's industrial core, its iron and coal. After that, we'll look beyond that classic backbone to what's next. We'll also have to face the true, often hidden cost of mining. Then we'll get a glimpse of how India's future is being powered. And finally, we'll talk about the role we all play in conservation.
Okay, so we've established that minerals are all around us, in pretty much everything. But to really grasp how they build an entire nation, we need to focus in on the two titans that really forged India's industrial power. Let's talk about the two resources that are, without a doubt, the heart of India's industrial backbone, iron ore and coal. I mean, just to put it in perspective, these ferrous minerals, the ones containing iron, they make up about 3/4 of the total value of all metallic mineral production. They're the big players. And here's the thing, India is incredibly fortunate to be rich in high-quality iron ore. Just look at this map. It shows you exactly where the action is, with these major iron ore belts concentrated in states like Odisha, Jharkhand, and Chhattisgarh. These deposits are the absolute bedrock of the country's massive steel industry.
Now, what's really fascinating here is that there are too many types of iron ore in the mix. You've got magnetite, which is the finest quality stuff, packing up to 70% iron content. Its awesome magnetic properties make it super valuable for the electrical industry. But then you have hematite. It has a bit less iron, but it's the real workhorse. By sheer volume, it's the most important industrial ore out there. And here's a wild fact for you. To make just 1 ton of steel, you need another critical mineral, manganese. And we're not talking a tiny pinch of it. You need nearly 10 kilograms. On top of that, it's used in all sorts of other things, from making bleaching powder to paints. It's a key ingredient.
So if iron is one half of that industrial heart, coal is the other. It's India's most abundant fossil fuel, by far. And these Gondwana coal fields, which are over 200 million years old, they are the absolute epicenter. Places like Jharia, Raniganj, and Bokaro hold a staggering 98% of the country's total coal reserves. This stuff powers everything, from electricity plants to our homes.
Okay, so iron and coal built the industrial backbone, no question. But today, a whole new suite of minerals is powering our modern high-tech world.
Let's look at these three. Copper, absolutely essential for the wiring and circuits in pretty much every electronic device you own. Bauxite, that's where we get aluminum. It's lightweight, strong, and crucial for everything from airplanes to soda cans. And mica, its amazing insulating properties literally make modern electronics possible. Our hunger for new tech means we have a ravenous appetite for these minerals.
But that ravenous appetite comes with a hefty price tag. And this brings us to a really critical part of the story, the true, often hidden cost of mining. So we really have to stop and ask ourselves, as we depend on all these incredible resources every single day, what are the hazards? What's the real cost of digging all this wealth out of the ground? And the cost is staggering on 2 fronts. First, there's the human cost. For miners, it's a daily risk, breathing in dust that can cause terrible lung diseases, all while working under the constant danger of collapsing roofs and fires. And then there's the environmental cost, which is just as grim. Mining can poison water sources, tear up the land, and pollute rivers with waste.
This quote really hits the nail on the head. Without tough safety rules and actually enforcing environmental laws, mining is always at risk of becoming what some have called a killer industry. The need for strong oversight is absolutely critical.
Okay, so that leads us directly into the future. How does a country like India keep growing and developing without paying such a high price?
Well, a huge part of the answer lies in shifting to new and much cleaner sources of energy.
Here's the fundamental difference. On one side, you have conventional sources like coal and oil. They're finite, meaning one day they'll be gone, and they're big-time polluters. On the other side, you have non-conventional sources. These are the renewables: solar, wind, tidal power. They are way more sustainable and just better for the planet.
One really powerful non-conventional source is nuclear energy. Now, it works by altering the very structure of atoms, using elements like uranium and thorium. This process releases an immense amount of heat, which we then use to generate electricity. And as you can see from the map, India has key nuclear plants dotted across the country, from Narora up north to Kalpakkam down south.
And this is just so cool. It shows the incredible diversity of India's renewable energy scene. It's like a tour of the country's geography as an energy source. Down in Tamil Nadu, the windy coast is home to a massive wind farm cluster. Way up in the Himalayas, in Ladakh's Puga Valley, they're pulling energy right from the Earth's hot interior. Over on the Gujarat coast, they're harnessing the power of the tides. And of course, everywhere, solar panels are turning bright sunlight into clean electricity.
So all of this brings us to the final and, maybe the most important piece of the puzzle: conservation. Because it doesn't matter where the energy or minerals come from, they're all precious resources, and taking care of them is a responsibility we all share. Here's the bottom line. The minerals and conventional energy we depend on, they took millions and millions of years to form. They're not making any more of it. That's why pushing for sustainable development isn't just a nice idea. It's really the only smart path forward.
And hey, we can all play a part. It's the simple things, done by millions of people, that add up to a huge impact. Choosing public transport, just flicking the light switch off when you leave a room, using energy-saving devices, these are all powerful acts of conservation. It's really just about being a little more mindful of what we use.
So let's end with this thought. India's vast resources built the nation we see today. They were the foundation. The real question now is, how will we choose to manage them from here on out? Because our choices about how we extract, use, and conserve these resources won't just power the country, they will absolutely define its future.